From the heart of the Space City to the heart of Gen Z, welcome to Next Gen Conversation. Not Dad's Talk Radio. Ethan talks to you about the issues and events that matter to our generation. This is the Next Gen Report with Ethan Buchanan.
Hey everybody, how are we? Great to be back with you. Real quick, if you're not listening to the Sunday evening show, you're missing out. 7 p.m. AM 950 KPRC. Tune in. It's a great show. Every single Sunday, I cannot recommend it enough. It is my show, so I'm biased, but I have a great time doing it. I think you'll have a great time listening. If you're not tuning into that, tune into it. And if you can't, you're busy, 7 p.m. on Sunday evenings, that's fine. We podcast it. It's available to listen the next Monday morning, every single weekend. So just wanted to put that out there on your radar. If you don't know where to find it, the best place to start looking would be at _ Ethan Buchanan on X. That's where you can find me. All right, we got a lot to talk about today. I want to start by talking about something that I think is kind of fun. This woman, who, if you're listening, you can't see her, but if you're watching, you can. She's up on the screen right now, is UCLA pro-Palestinian protester Maya. That's the only name I have for her. And she got hospitalized because she went on this hunger strike and didn't eat for 9 days. And she ended up having to go to the hospital because, wouldn't you know it, the human body needs food. Take a listen to this video that I guess her friend recorded this. Check this out.
This is what happens when UCLA ignores their students.
Okay, no, it's not. This is what happens when you don't eat for 9 days because you're an idiot.
She's going to the hospital. She just passed out. UCLA, please hear her. She's literally being hospitalized because of you.
Again, I think it's incredibly important that we pay attention to the language. UCLA, she's being hospitalized because of you. No, she's not. UCLA didn't make her stop eating. She chose that. She chose that. I mean, this is all her doing. UCLA can clear and free wash their hands of this.
This is on you, UCLA.
Hi, my name is Maya, and I'm on day 6 of my hunger strike. Although there has been no response from UCLA about my hunger strike, I have been made aware that they know about the strike and they are monitoring it. UCLA claims to care deeply about the health and safety of its students, yet has failed to directly speak to me about my hunger strike. Many people do not know just how involved UCLA and other universities across the country are in the Palestinian genocide. Universities and institutions of learning are run like for-profit businesses. They hold billions of dollars in investments and private equity funds. This means the people who run this university directly profit from the slaughter of Palestinian children.
I mean, she's jumping to a whole lot of conclusions there. I don't know what her logic is, but the point here isn't even about Palestine or anything like that, because for all intents and purposes, I think that ship has pretty much sailed. That war seems to be over. The ceasefire, last I checked, is holding up just fine, and the UN has approved the long-term peace deal. So we're pretty much good there. The point is, these people are stupid. I mean, this chick just jumps to some conclusions about how evil UCLA is, the college she's choosing to go to, and rather than doing something that might actually affect their bottom line in some way, like drop out and stop paying tuition, she just says, no, I'll just stop eating, which achieves nothing for anybody except get you sent to the hospital. And, I mean, maybe get you some attention online, which I think is probably her end goal. So, anyway, whenever I see things like this, it just kind of cracks me up. Whenever I see these leftists, you know, hunger strike themselves and get themselves hospitalized in their ridiculous protests, it just goes to show that, you know, Darwin was wrong about a lot, but not everything. Natural selection is real, and it comes in the form of stupidity. All right, now let's also talk about this instance. This is Antonio Enriquez. He is, from what I can tell, a legal alien. They're upset that he got arrested and detained. Here's the video about this. This is him being detained.
15 him.
No. No, ¿para qué? ¿Para qué? ¿Para qué? ¿Para qué?
See the ICE agents arresting him. He's saying, no, no.
¿Por qué la voy a soltar? Porque vamos a mi casa. Vamos a mi casa. Vamos a mi casa.
He's saying, let's go to my house. Let's go to my house in Spanish. Here's why he's saying that. Was walking to Melrose Park store last month when agents demanded to see his documents. He told them they were a few blocks away at his home, pleading vamos mi casa, let's go to my house, but agents ignored him. The feds took Enriquez to the Broadview ICE facility. He was held for 6 hours until she took a copy. It doesn't say who she is, but I assume his wife. Until she took a copy of his green card and social security card to show to ICE to get him out of detainment. Now, the left is mad about this case, but this is actually an example of the system working. You might not know this, but if you're a legal immigrant, someone like a green card holder who's not a citizen, you're actually required to have your documents on your person all of the time. Like, it's not one of those things where you can just leave it at the house. You are required by law, by federal law, to have your green card on your person, not somewhere else, on your person. And immigration agents are allowed to ask you for proof of citizenship. They are. The left will try to tell you, oh, this is just like Nazi Germany. We're asking for people's papers. No, it's not like Nazi Germany at all. This is the set law. It's been the set law forever. This is nothing new. This is standing law. It's being enforced. I mean, this guy got detained for 6 hours, and then he was able to present his documents, and he was let go. That's the system working. He wasn't even arrested. He was detained. That's a specific, different legal thing. So, I mean, basically, this guy suffered a 6-hour inconvenience because he didn't follow the law. And the left will try to point to this as an example of how evil Trump is. I mean, if you have an alternative for the requirement that you keep your documents on you at all times if you're a legal immigrant, I would love to hear it. Because without you have to have your green card on your person, we basically just have to take everyone's word for it every time they say they're here legally and they have a green card. Which, I don't know if you know this, but the honor system is not overly reliable, especially when it comes to immigration. So, again, I don't know what the left wants here. What do you want? And the answer is just a wide open border. They want everybody, regardless of whether or not they're here legally, to be able to just hang out. I mean, that doesn't work. We've tried that. I'm sorry. All right, stay tuned. We got a lot coming up today on the Next Gen Report. My friend Jaclyn Brown is going to be with us in the third segment. I'm looking forward to that. We'll be right back. All right, I'm going to be a little bit late to the party on this one, but I want to talk about this lady. She started really making the rounds kind of last week. I had never heard of her before, but she fascinates me. I think she's a very interesting case study in what just outright leftism does to you, does to your mind. It turns you into very bitter of a person. And that's demonstrable on multiple fronts. But I think this lady, this Jennifer Welch, she's a radio host, much like myself. I'm not sure where. I believe she's kind of political talk, but she's left-wing political talk, which is probably why I've never heard of her. I don't know if you know this, but left-wing political talk radio doesn't tend to do very well. I mean, I guess she's got her show and, good for her, I guess. But she seems like a legitimately awful person. Like, just very, very bitter and angry and hateful, frankly. But also kind of crazy. And we're going to dig into this because, I mean, she really is, as far as I'm concerned, just like the perfect example of late-stage leftism. So I want to start by playing you this video. And I'm not sure if this is on her show or someone else's show or what. But here is she super upset at any conservative who goes and, you know, eats at a Mexican restaurant or a Chinese restaurant. And she's like really mad about this. Take a listen to this. And I'm going to have to bleep out a whole bunch of this, and I'm going to try to get all of it. But if I miss something, forgive me. I'm operating under FCC guidelines. So if you hear a word that you don't like, give Congress a call. I can't fix it. There's so much I have to bleep out here. I'm just focusing on bleeping out the stuff that the government tells me I have to. So take a listen.
I've had it with white people that triple trumped, that have the nerve and the audacity to walk into a Mexican restaurant, a Chinese restaurant, an Indian restaurant, go to perhaps their gay hairdresser. I don't think you should be able to enjoy anything but Cracker Barrel. And if you want to triple Trump and you want to browbeat DEI and you want to browbeat gay people and you want to browbeat black people, as you've been doing for 400 years, and you want to browbeat this generation of immigrants that come over here and open up businesses earnestly, pay their taxes, you want to demonize them and call them rapists and felons and all this shit, when the felon is the teeny weeny mushroom piece of shit, Cankle's taco tits at the top of the ticket. I have had it from top to bottom. White people that triple Trump should be banned, boycotted from enjoying the best thing that America has to offer, which is multiculturalism. Get your fat asses out of the Mexican restaurant, get your fat asses over to Cracker Barrel, because nobody wants to see your fucking ass, teeny weeny, pink arm, big gut around. Nobody wants to see that shit. No one.
So she seems like a nice lady. And again, for the listeners, I know I got everything, but for the YouTube viewers, it's coming in on a different feed. I apologize if I missed something. But anyway, she seems nice. She seems real polite. Here's my question. Who cares what restaurant you eat at? I mean, I'm what I guess you would call a triple Trumper. I didn't vote for him in 2016 because I wasn't old enough. But I voted for him in 2020. I voted for him in 2024. And I voted for him in the primaries in both those elections. So I think technically I'm actually a quadruple Trumper. Or no, he wasn't on the there really wasn't a real primary in 2020, was there? But I have voted for Trump as many times as I was afforded the opportunity. And I proudly eat at Mexican restaurants and Chinese restaurants. Not really Indian food, because I don't like Indian food, but everything else on the list I've dabbled in, and I really enjoy Mexican food because I live in Texas and I grew up eating Mexican food, and I think it's great. What the hell is it to you, lady? I can vote for whoever I want and go eat whatever I want. As a matter of fact, I can vote for whoever I want, eat whatever I want, and then if I catch wind that somebody working at that restaurant is illegal alien, I can call ICE on that person and still go back to eat there. Cry about it. Cry about it. But again, I guess her point is you can't eat this food if you want these people deported. And my point is, hey, lady, not all these people are illegal aliens. That, to me, I think is the real racism here, right? I mean, you're assuming just because they're Hispanic that I want to call ICE on them? There are legal Hispanic people. I have no problem with them. I welcome them with open arms. Come to America. Make me a taco. Or whatever. This is going to get clipped. I'm going to get canceled already. I don't care. This is how I feel. You can eat Mexican food and support ICE closing the border. That's allowed. I have another clip here of her, but I really don't think you'll be able to actually hear her voice in any meaningful way over the background noise in this clip, so I'm not going to bother playing it. But essentially what she says in this other clip, it's from Zoran Mamdani's victory party. And she talks about the fact that, just white people and Americans have no culture. And she goes to say, this party would be so much worse if there was just a bunch of white people here. And I mean, there's a significant number of white people in the background. If you're watching it right now, you can see it. But I think this just goes to show you that she's a very bitter woman. And she's a very self-hating woman. Like, she goes so far out of her way to disparage white people. And I think that's a good example of what happens when you dedicate yourself so thoroughly to the kind of modern DEI white people are evil leftism. Like, I really do think that this is just a self-hating cracker. That's who she is. That's who she strikes me as. I mean, if she's not, I'd love to hear it. But she makes the point in this video that, oh, white people have no culture. America has no culture. We have nothing going on. White people have so much culture. There are so many beautiful and awesome white cultures. And the American white culture is by far my favorite. And I'm sorry to you, lady, if you've never managed to experience that, but you're missing out. And you're frankly probably just ignorant. This, I think, is really fascinating. Just to double down on my theory that she just is a self-hating white person. Here she is, quite literally kissing the feet of Jasmine Crockett and then getting on video and bragging about it. I'm not making that up. We all know who Jasmine Crockett is. She's she does a phony ghetto bit when she's campaigning, but she's a congresswoman from Texas, from the Dallas area. Here is this Jennifer Welch lady, quite literally, you can see it in the picture, kissing her feet and then bragging about it. Take a listen.
Can you confirm that I just kissed your sneakers? This is true. She's on camera saying she'll do the radio. I am. We're doing it. Future senator of the great state of Texas. I'm gonna miss Ted Cruz so much. He's so likable.
Can you confirm that I just kissed your shoes? Yes, she did. Future senator of Texas. Please, calm down. Calm down. If Sheila Jackson Lee could never make it out of the House of Representatives, Jasmine Crockett definitely is not. But I mean, here's the picture. You can see it right there. Just so you know it's not AI, here is her own account. This is Stephanie Miller's account. Posting the pictures, bragging about it. She is happy to have kissed Jasmine Crockett's feet because she's crazy. I think this demonstrates two things. One, it demonstrates the racial self-flagellation that's required of the modern far leftist. And also, I think it's a good example of the fact that leftists really do worship government. And so a member of the government like Jasmine Crockett is seen as sort of a prophet of the ultimate God. That's how they view government. And I mean, that's the only reason I can think of. Like, this is exactly what I could imagine your average Muslim doing if they saw a vision of the Prophet Muhammad, is getting down and kissing his feet. If Jesus Christ himself appeared to me in a vision, that's probably what I would be doing to him. And here she is doing it to Jasmine Crockett. These people are just weird, y'all. Our enemies are weird. Our political enemies are crazy and weird. I have nothing else to say about this. We'll be right back with Jaclyn Brown in just a second. All right, let's talk about something more fun. I enjoy taking trips. That's one of my hobbies. I traveled to Gettysburg in like 2023. That was a blast. I travel around the kind of Texas, Louisiana area, just going and doing different activities, doing historical reenactments. It's a great time. So I wanted to have somebody on to talk about travel, because that really is a whole world in and of itself. And so I brought one of my good friends, Jaclyn Brown, who is a travel agent, travel advisor. What's the technical term?
Either work. Some go by travel agent, some go by travel advisor, or more sophisticated titles. I usually just say travel advisor. Travel advisor.
Okay, so let me start by asking you this. I just kind of, whenever I go on a trip, just kind of wing it, basically. Like, like the most planning in advance I'll do is like, I'll pick a hotel. And like, yeah, I think this one has at least 4 out of 5 stars, so I'll stay there in this town. But that's really it as far as planning that I do. So what exactly does a travel advisor do? How much planning do you actually do for your clients? What does that entail? Are you like picking restaurants or picking hotels or all of the above?
So for the way that I set up my travel agency is I will plan as little to as much as people would like me to. So if someone comes to me and they go, I know exactly where I want to go and what I want to do, I just don't want to find a hotel or find a flight. So here's the dates, and this is, this is what I want. I can totally do that for them and just do hotels and flights. But I'll even go as far to on a more detailed trip, like let's say if it's out of the country, I will go into dining reservations. We'll do tours, we'll do excursions for cruises, or of course, hotels, transfers, it kind of anything that you can think of within, of course, reason. There are some restaurants that we wouldn't be able to do reservations for. You would need to do that. But as long as it's within my power, I would totally plan that and have that in the itinerary for my clients.
So you're essentially like just filling in the blanks, right? However many blanks you give me, that's how many I'm going to fill in. If you know pretty much what you want, except this and this, we'll go there. Or if you hand me just a blank sheet of paper, you'll cover that too.
Yes, that's kind of what travel advisors are for. We're specialists in the destinations and in the products that we sell, or even some people have certain niches, like, okay, honeymoons in the Caribbean or hiking in the, I don't know, the Andes, or, things like that. There are certain people who have specific knowledge in those products. And so if someone comes up to a travel advisor and it's like, I want to do this, then they can set that all up for them. We have tour operators and people that we have very close relationships with to be able to just someone to tell us, hey, I like to hike. And we go, okay, well, do you know where you want to hike, or do you want to just go somewhere and hike? And that's where our expertise comes in, and we go, okay, this is what we think that we should do. How does that sound to you? And kind of customize it to what they like.
I kind of had an experience like that when me and my wife went on our honeymoon. We did a big cruise, and I was looking at some of the excursions, and I discovered that like Facebook groups are a big thing in the cruising community. I'm learning this all now relatively for the first time because I'd never been on one before. But like there was one where it was like, hey, this is the Facebook group for this cruise port, and this is the Facebook group for this cruise ship, and this is the Facebook group for this specific sail date. And I'm looking at all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't trust any of the things I'm seeing in here. I've got some random guy from Honduras saying like, hey, I'll give you the best deal on a tour. It's like, I don't want to get drugged by you, bro. So it seems like kind of your whole thing is eliminating that guesswork, right?
Yes. So we work with trusted providers or trusted what we call suppliers of whatever product you're looking for. There are, of course, cruise excursion specialist suppliers that we can go, okay, we have this person and they're sailing on this cruise, these dates. What is available? And then we as the travel advisor get that information back and we go, okay, well, this person is not really into water sports, so let's take those out. We'll just send them, they want to do things with food and they're big foodie and culinary. So we'll pool those excursions and take them to our clients and say, hey, these are some great options that you can do on your port days. And that's kind of how we work.
So do you have personally kind of like a thing? Like, are you like, a hiking expert or a foodie expert? Like, what is your like favorite, I guess my question is, what is your favorite type of trip to plan? Like, what's one where somebody goes, I want to do this, and you're like, yes.
Okay. It's a really hard question for me, but whenever I set up my travel agency, I set it up, and the name is Terra Rose Odysseys. And so what I really wanted to give my clients a feel of, and the clients that I look for, or the trips that I love to plan, are customized trips. So it's not something that you find in a package and you just say, oh, hey, I like that package, let's just book it. Although I can do that for you and would love to, I love to do personalized travel. And so I more of have some destinations that I have specialized knowledge in, and not necessarily like I only do hiking, or I only do food, or I only do this. I like to do a little bit of all of it, but within certain places. Again, I can do anywhere, but there are some specializations. I have some of my destinations that I love to book to are South Korea, Greece, the South Pacific, Japan, and then more stateside would be like Florida and Tennessee and places like that.
So you've got a big trip or something that you're putting together to South Korea, right? Can you tell me about that? And am I right on that? It is South Korea, right?
Yes. So it's our South Korea Fall Odyssey, and I understand that fall's basically almost over, but it's not this fall. Yeah, it's not in a couple weeks. That's not when it is. It's next October, and it's in South Korea. We're gonna be doing a lot of touring and sightseeing, but also what I like to do in my group trips is have free days for the passengers on the group. And what I do then is I give personalized recommendations to them based off of whether they want to go on a food route or a K-pop route or a cultural route, beauty and wellness, things like that. So it's going to be a 10-day, 9-night trip. And we'll be flying from most likely Dallas, because that is where we can get an
international flight.
I just lost the word. It's an international flight, but it's a no stopovers, no layovers or anything. It's a straight there flight from DFW. If you go from Houston area, you're going to have to stop somewhere else and then switch planes. But we're going to go to Seoul, and then Gyeongju and Busan, and then back to Seoul. So there's going to be 3 different cities that we're visiting, and then just a bunch of fun.
All right, real quick, we're almost out of time. I got less than a minute left. Tell people, what's the best way if they're interested, they want to book a trip with you, they want to look into this trip. What's the best way for them to find you, to connect, to learn more about your agency and get a trip booked?
So the best way would be to either email me or go onto my website, or even give me a call. So my email is Jaclyn, which is JACLYN at terraroseodysseys.com. My website is terraroseodysseys.com, and my phone number is 832-617-4534.
Alrighty, awesome. Well, Jaclyn, hey, thank you very much for taking the time to join us. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you once again to Jaclyn for taking the time to talk with us about a shared passion. I really do love traveling. I'm looking over the next couple of weeks at, or not in the next couple of weeks, but over the next couple of weeks, I'll be looking at planning another trip because I have a 1-year anniversary coming up in the late spring of next year. So I'm excited for that. I might look into see about booking that with Jaclyn. Highly encourage you to. She's a great person to talk to. She's a good person to be friends with. Known her for a long time. She's just I can't sing her praises enough. I'll link all the information to find her down below. If you're listening right now on the podcast, you can see it right there. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see it. But anyway, let's talk about some late breaking news that we had here in Texas. Our new congressional maps have, for the time being, been blocked by a federal court. Now, before everyone loses their minds about this was part of the plan. This was not a surprise to anybody. This was not a blind side or anything. Look at what the Chronicle said about this. Texas GOP drawn congressional maps blocked by court in a stunning blow to Republicans. If you really thought this was a stunning blow to Republicans, you have got another thing coming. This was a panel of federal judges that blocked this. This is going to be appealed directly to the Supreme Court on a rocket docket. Basically, hey, look at this right now. Get to it as soon as possible, quickly. This will be overturned within a month. I'm calling it right now. I'd put money on it. We have precedent from the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals from the state of Texas that says what we just did is fine. This ruling we saw coming. We know we were going to have to get it through a liberal court before we got it to the Supreme Court. This will be overruled. I'm calling it now. This was not stunning at all. Everybody knew this was going to happen. If you didn't see this coming, you're a political idiot. That's not stopping the Democrats from doing a victory lap, though. The Texas House Democrats tweeted this out. Texas's rigged redistricting maps just got struck down by a federal judge as an illegal racial gerrymander. That's different from what actually happened. They didn't get struck down, they got blocked, which means we're prevented from implementing them for the time being. Again, I cannot stress this enough. This ruling will be overturned. One of my least favorite Democrats, James Tallarico, he got himself into some hot water as well, but I'm not going to go into that. James Tallarico said, my fellow Democrats and I broke quorum to shine a national spotlight on Trump's redistricting power grab. We inspired other states and millions of Americans to join the fight. Moments ago, a federal court struck down this rigged map. This is why we fight back. This is going to be really funny when this gets overruled. And again, the irony cannot be overstated. The Democrats, while singing the praises of the court that blocked this map, are going to also sing the praises of Gavin Newsom, who did the same thing in his own state as a rebuttal to what Texas did. So somehow it's a threat to democracy and corrupt and gerrymandering when we do it. But when you do it, it's fine. What am I missing here? Honestly, what am I missing? Is Gavin Newsom going to go and campaign for his old maps to be restored? Because remember, they passed their own gerrymandered maps right after we did. They made a big deal out of it too. So now that our maps have been blocked, are you going to undo that? No, because it was never about fairness or protecting your voice or whatever garbage they fed you. It was always just about the power. Gene Wu had one too. This is why we first broke quorum and then fought the maps in the courts. Texas HDC, that's House Democrats, will always fight for the voices of everyday Texans to be heard. We will not back down. I mean, if you knew this was going to happen the whole time, which is what you're claiming, why would you even bother breaking quorum? Why not just wait for the lawsuits? If you are so confident that this was so illegal and so wrong, just let it pass, and then when the lawsuit comes and strikes the map down, just do a victory lap and say, I told you so. Which is kind of what he's doing here, I guess. But again, I'm saving all of these tweets because they are going to be really funny when the Supreme Court weighs in and completely flips all this on his head. Speaking of Gavin Newsom, Donald Trump and Greg Abbott played with fire, got burned, and democracy won. All right, so if democracy won because Texas's maps got struck down in the courts, does that mean democracy lost in California? Because your maps are still going into effect. Unless I've missed something big, which I don't think I have. Even if there was a major lawsuit against the California maps, I can't imagine it's going to go anywhere, not in the state of California. So, I mean, what's going on here? Are you celebrating victory for democracy in Texas and also celebrating failure of democracy in your own state, Gavin Newsom? And if so, again, why? Because it's about the power. Gavin Newsom, these Democrats, they don't care at all about democracy or justice or protecting your voice. All they care about is power. And again, they're going to lose this power. This is a temporary, minor procedural victory that will be overturned within 2 months, if not sooner. If not sooner. So anyway, enjoy your victory. All right, more big important news. It looks like we're going to get the Epstein files, all of them supposedly. Senate sends bill demanding the release of the Epstein files to Trump's desk. This all happened yesterday. The House passed, and then the Senate immediately also passed this bill that requires the Justice Department to release all files related to Epstein's investigation within 30 days of enactment. So, I mean, assuming Donald Trump signs it soon, which he said he would, we should have the Epstein files shortly. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. If you're hearing this, if you're reading these headlines and thinking, oh my God, we're finally going to get the blockbuster, we're going to figure out all these names, who all these perverts are, and we're going to take down the rich and powerful who are abusing our children. I wish you were right. I pray to God you're right. It would be wonderful if you are. Maybe I'm just a pessimist on this, but I wouldn't hold my breath. Again, this is 30 days after enactment. So God only knows when that actual date is. I imagine it could be as long as 2 more months because Trump, he said he would sign it. That video is out there. It's floating around on X. I'll repost it. I don't have time to play it. But that video is out there saying, yeah, if this gets to my desk, I'll sign it. I don't care. I'm not on this list. I will sign it. That's what Trump said. He could take his sweet time signing it. And then I haven't read the text of the bill, so I'm not sure after signing it, there could still be another delay before it actually goes into effect. And then after it goes into effect, there's another 30 days on the end. So again, this is legislation. There's a lot of games in it, I guarantee you. And all of those games are going to be used to draw this out so that they can make all the redactions and all of the subtractions and hiding everything they want to hide. Again, I hope and pray that I'm wrong. I hope and pray that what we end up getting out of this bill is the full and complete release of everything we have on Jeffrey Epstein, including all of his clientele. I hope that's the case. However, I'm also a realist, and the pattern seems to indicate that that will not be the case. Again, I hope it is. I want it to be. But don't get your hopes up, basically, is my thought on this. All right, I think that's all I've got for us this Friday. Again, I want to remind you, listen to the Sunday show, 7 p.m. AM 950 KPRC. If you're not in the greater Houston area, if you can't get a clear signal, listen on the free iHeartRadio app. Just search KPRC 950 on the iHeartRadio app. You'll be able to pull it up. You can also do that on Apple Music, by the way. You can listen to the online feed. Again, it's a great show. We have a great time. And also, I just had Jaclyn on. I had her on because she's a friend and I love what she's doing. But if you own a business, you want to talk to me about your business, I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear about your business. I would love to promote you if you're a good business. Reach out to me. Let me know. You can find me on X at _Ethan Buchanan or shoot me an email, thenextgenreport@gmail.com. All right, that's all I've got. Thank you very much for listening to The Next Gen Report.